My name is Jonathan Shaw, and in this video, I want to talk about how to get started. How do you start? What steps do you take to start your own law firm, your small business? This channel is dedicated to talking about the business of law, the stuff that they never teach you in law school, based on my experience, different things that I've seen, different things that I've learned. And the purpose isn't to give you a step-by-step guide of every little detail that you have to take care of to be able to start your own firm. But my hope is that I can point you in the right direction, share a little bit of my experience with you. So let's move forward and talk about 5 things that I think you have to consider and take into account and do to be able to take that first step towards owning your own law firm business. Okay, so let's talk about 5 steps that you need to take, 5 things that you need to be aware of to be able to start your own firm. These are things that I've come up with over the years. I've thought about these concepts for hours and hours, days and days, weeks and weeks, especially in the run-up to leaving a firm that I was working at and starting my own firm. So number 1, it's important to be self-aware. When you're running your own business, it's you. You are the person with all the hats on. You're the person leading that small team or that large team, whatever it grows to, but it's all on you, right? So it's important for you to be self-aware. Can you manage people? Are you the type of person that really just loves being in the books and writing briefs and doing research, but not so much maybe things like payroll or looking for malpractice insurance or different things like that, right? It's important to understand yourself. One of the things that helped me was to look at results that I had working at the former firm that I worked at, right? I wanted to know, well, am I going to be able to bring in any business? That's important because I'm going to have to eat. I'm going to have to feed my kids. So what do? Can I get this done? For me, it was good to look back at the results I'd had over several years working at a former firm and seeing that I was able to grow practice. In particular, in my circumstance, I speak Spanish fluently. I've lived in Mexico. My wife is from Colombia. And so I came into this firm and really helped them grow their Spanish-speaking side of the firm with real results. I got to the point where I would have multiple media interviews in a month with local Spanish-speaking media, and turned into, I guess, the term that you hear sometimes out there is rainmaker, right? Able to bring in a lot of cases for these people. And so that helped me be self-aware and understand that if I go out on my own, I'll be able to feed myself because if I have a talent, it's finding cases and bringing in cases. And so that's one thing. Another thing is, and I think that people don't understand this when you go out on your own, it becomes real very fast. You're out there on an island. So are you the type of person that can operate in that environment? I mean, you're alone out there. Oftentimes people that are similar to you, sadly, don't want to talk to you. I mean, they're your competition, right? You'll find a lot of people along the way that aren't like that. We know that the sun shines on everybody and everybody can get enough work, but you're definitely on an island and you feel lonely out there. And so is that something you can do? Or another way to think about this, and it's a path different from the one that I've taken, is do you need to bring somebody along for the ride? Do you need to partner up with somebody from the beginning, have a partnership agreement? But if you feel like you're not the type of person that can maybe go at it alone, maybe partner up with somebody, and then you always have somebody to bounce ideas off of and talk to, because the route that I've taken oftentimes has been quite lonely. So that's step number 1, self-aware. Can I do things by myself? Can I bring in work? What attributes do I have that are going to lend themselves to be able to move forward and run my own business? Step number 2, this is super important. It's important to plan and to start moving things forward. At the same time, even though maybe there's not a set of rules, I think that there's a moral compass that needs to be followed in that circumstance. Obviously, you have to follow the rules of ethics in your state, wherever you live. That's super important, obviously. But also, I think there's sort of an ethics to the process you're going to go through to leaving a law firm. I always say that karma is real. it's a thing, and it's going to come back and bite you, and you don't want to burn any bridges. You just don't want to burn any bridges. I mean, I'm through over 3 years out from having left my former firm. And just last week, I was in communication with my former boss talking about another issue, right? And so it's super, super important. Do this ethically, plan. I think that things that you can do is start to think about location, logo, what's your name going to be for your firm. You can start looking into those things off hours. Don't work on these things while you're working for somebody else, right? So if you're at the office and you're being paid to be there, focus on your work and do your thing. And then when you get home at 5, 6, 7 at night, whatever it is, then work on that kind of stuff, right? But it's important to start planning, start thinking about what you're going to do. Oftentimes you hear of people quitting a job, and then it's like they haven't even thought through what they're going to do next. Like, you don't do that. Make sure you have a plan, and that maybe you've even taken a few steps forward ethically, things that you could maybe do, like setting up a website and different things, but don't do it on your boss's dime, right? You don't want to burn those bridges. You don't want to have karma waiting in the bushes to get you later on for something you might have done when you're in the process of leaving your former firm, right? It's super important to understand that running a business isn't going to be maybe as easy as it looks. However, if it's for you, it's going to be fulfilling. One of the things that when I was talking to different people that I've worked for in the past, and one person told me, you don't even know what it takes to run a law firm. And I think, at the time he might've been right. But the thing is, I knew that that's what I needed to do. That's what I wanted to do. And I was going to learn on the way, but it's important to understand that it's not, showing up, clocking in, or whatever it is you do, and then sitting down, writing briefs, heading to court, and then going home and forgetting about it. Literally, like, I've been at Disneyland standing in line. I can remember for the line in the Cars world where the tractors kind of spin around and you're with your little kids, and I'm putting out fires at my business while waiting in line at Disney World. You know what I mean? And so, that stuff's real. It's hard to have a vacation when you're a business owner because you're the last line of defense. Anybody calling angry, you're getting the messages and you're taking care of things. You know what I mean? So that stuff's real, but you just got to understand, that's part of the game here. So plan for those things. What am I going to do? Where am I going to be located? What area of law am I going to be focused on? Am I going to be in a partnership? Am I not going to be in a partnership? Do I need to set up an LLC, website, whatever I need to do, and start moving forward in an ethical manner after hours, maybe, and in a way that wouldn't be burning bridges with your former boss or partner or firm. The next step, number 3, this one's huge. Prepare financially, but not too much. Okay. And I say it that way because this is the obstacle that stops everybody from running their own law firm, right? It's very scary for people to jump out on their own thinking, how am I going to provide for my family? I have 4 kids, and I'm married. I've been married almost 15 years at this point. We have 2 boys that are 13 years old, one that's 9, and then a little girl that's 6. And so 3 years ago, a little over 3 years ago now, when I left my former firm, that was my biggest concern. Am I going to be able to have clothes for them, feed them, give them experiences that they would like to enjoy, and do everything I need to do as a father? So you sort of have your bird in hand, and, I'm working and I'm making money at this firm and things are going okay, but you see your potential and you see how much better it might be financially for you if you move forward. But there is a big unknown, a time that you're going to have to go through where you're not sure if you're going to get traction or not. Right. So that's the scary part. The thing is, if you understand marketing well, you understand what it takes to find clients, that shouldn't be something that stops you, right? After having gone through that period of my life, and I think you've heard this from a lot of people probably, because I had a lot of people tell it to me, but after having gone through that process, I wish I would have done it earlier. I don't think that the financial portion of setting up a law firm is as prohibitive as you might think it is, and as I thought it was at the time, right? You're thinking potentially about, 5-7 year lease at some nice law office downtown, and then all the computer software and all the desks and things. But literally, It's not that way. If you're setting up a small law firm, you're piecing things together. For example, right now, I'm starting a YouTube channel. I've got 0 subscribers. I don't even have a video up. This is going to be the first video. And I'm sitting in my basement with a backdrop I bought off of Amazon with a webcam and just going for it, because I've learned over time that that's the way you do it. You start small and then work up. And so if you have some type of virtual office space that you can meet people at, but your main place to work out of at first is your basement, is your home office, that's going to work. Especially this time, it's the reason I'm in my basement right now is because we're going through this period of COVID-19, and suddenly everybody's working from home, right? So maybe it's a great time to start your own firm because you don't have to pay for that overhead. It's important to understand from my experience that the overhead to start a law firm is not the same as the overhead to start, say, a retail store or a dentist office or things like that. I mean, we have to have a laptop, a printer, maybe a good laser printer with ink so you can run a lot of paper through that depending on what area of law you work in. And that's it. You can move forward with that, right? And there's lots of little details, and we'll talk about them in other videos in the future, different things you can do to keep overhead down. But I think that I might be going out on a limb a little bit when I say this. But at the same time, I really don't think, though, if you're smart about it. Literally, if you have $10,000 to $15,000, maybe that could be credit cards, maybe it could be a loan, sell your car, whatever it is, I believe you can get off the ground and feed yourself. But a portion of those dollars is going to have to be well used in advertising, and we can talk about that in other videos, like I said, right? But I don't think that this step is as prohibitive as you like to think it is, because I've been through it and I was scared about it. I have my 4 kids and we have way more than I ever thought we would, right? And so don't let this step stop you, but just understand it's important to prepare financially, have some money there to be able to maybe live off of for a few months until you start getting your first paid clients. Different areas of law, it's going to be different. It's going to be harder. Depending, right? I work in the area of immigration, speak Spanish. I knew marketing well. So for me, that was an asset and I was able to use that. Step number 4, this step is also very difficult. If you're like me, it's very difficult. You have to have that tough conversation eventually, right? So for some of you out there, I mean, you're a lawyer, your blood runs cold, your heart is a heart of stone, and you just don't feel, scared about these situations, right? But I'll be honest, that conversation when I sat down with my former boss, we were working to become partners, was probably the most difficult conversation I've ever had with somebody in my life, honestly. I really admired the guy, looked up to the guy that I worked for. I still like him a lot. I didn't want to hurt him, but at the same time, I knew that it was time. I had outgrown my position where I was at. I had a lot of potential that I wasn't experiencing. And to be frank, I think that my former office was taking advantage, not unfairly, but was benefiting a lot more from my talents than maybe that I was being compensated for at the time, right? Or another way to put that is I wasn't using my talents to their full capacity because of the position that I was in. I needed to get out and grow. I didn't want to hurt anybody's feelings, but it was important for me to sit down and have that tough conversation. Now, every situation is a little bit different. My former boss would always tell his workers, his employees, that he would like to have months even of notice if somebody's going to leave. And I get that because, it's difficult to be able to bring people in, train people for things, whatever. At the same time, I don't believe in that. I don't do that. When I let people go now from my small office, I literally have them leave almost immediately, and then I pay them another few weeks sort of to help them get through finding a new job or whatever. But I don't believe at all in having somebody work weeks or months and months after we've already decided that they're not going to be there at some point, right? I do believe in the period of 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever it might be ethically for you to be able to work through issues with representing clients, motions to substitute counsel, sending out a letter according to the rules in your state to your clients about what's going to happen and let them decide if they're going to stay with the firm or go with you or all that stuff that has to happen. Maybe it can't be done within 2 weeks. In my particular circumstance, I just really worked hard to leave all clients. I literally brought no clients with me. It adds to the story that I have. I actually moved from Colorado to the state of Utah, and was able to join the bar in Utah, be waived in after having practiced in Colorado for a certain number of years without having to take the bar exam. And I left every single client to my former boss without even fighting about it. Talk about karma and not burning bridges. I think I took it to an extreme. And I'm not sure if it's fully appreciated. I don't know, but I really, really, really try not to step on toes. I really try to go out of my way to not bring a bunch of clients with me, kind of cause a revolt, bring paralegals with me or anything. I wanted to make it as smooth and as easy as possible for him. And that would help my sort of mental capacity to be able to deal with the fact that I was leaving somebody in that situation, right? But going back to the point, it's super important to be able to plan and have that tough conversation about the fact that I'm leaving. Sit down with your partner, your boss, whatever it is, and discuss it, put it out on the table. And hopefully it can be done in a manner where it can be friendly and people can go their separate ways, but be happy. I've had it go both ways. I worked for a former military guy one time who, when I was having that conversation with him, and in fact, part of the conversation was I wanted to maybe stick around and make some more money, but I had this opportunity. He didn't want to hear it, didn't hear me out, had me leave that same day with a list of all my clients and where I was at on their cases. And then years later, seems to still be hurt by the fact that I was looking to make more money for my family. And when I tried to get on the bar in Utah, he sent a letter saying that I had left in a way that was unethical. And when at the same time, he asked me to leave that day. And so that one crashed and burned. And that's the thing you're scared of, right? But the last place I was working, it didn't go that way. What I did was worked for another 3, almost 4 weeks, and worked through every single case, tried to have substitution of counsel, filed with the courts, ready to go, talk to the clients, do the best I could to leave in a way that was fast, and so that I'm not there working for months and months and months, knowing mentally that I'm just not here. I'm already doing my own thing. That would have been unfair to my former boss and would have been unfair to clients. But at the same time, trying not to burn any bridges, right? But it's important to have the courage to have that tough conversation. And then the last point, number 5 here, is go for it. You got to do it. You got to jump off the boat into the deep water and swim. You know what I mean? That's at the end of the day what you need to do. It's important to understand a couple things. First of all, you're not going to know everything about every detail of software you're going to need, or, what's the best computer setup, or do I need on-site storage or store everything in the cloud? You're not going to know all those things, right? But it's almost like a journey. You're going to find those things out as you move forward. And so it's important just to move forward, just to go and jump out on your own and do it, right? Then you can reach out to colleagues, you can look up videos, you can talk to your local bar association, talk to different people, and learn things as you go. You'll find people on your path that will point you in the right direction in different things, right? But it's important just to go and do and just move. Don't let your financial situation hang you up. You're probably in a financial situation where you might not be able to jump out on your own according to what you think, precisely because you're locked in the current job you're in right now. Find a way. It doesn't take a lot of money. You got a laptop, you got a roof over your head maybe that you can pay for a couple months. You should be good, right? And then the last point under this one, under point number 5, where you just need to go in, just jump in the deep end and start swimming, is to understand this concept. This really helped me, is that I knew that when I left my former firm, that I was a good employee. I was an honest employee. I would earn my keep, and I was good at bringing cases in and good at managing the cases. I had a Spanish-speaking ability that was of use to my firm and maybe to other firms. And so what I knew was that I would try to go out on my own, but if it didn't work, the world I was living in at the time would gladly accept me back with open arms, right? So if you have experience as an associate attorney and working in another firm, yeah, you actually probably have more experience now than you did, obviously, when you started working in that place, right? So now understandably, you're more marketable. So if this thing where you're jumping out and trying to hang your own shingle and go out on your own is not working for you, you can go back to that world that you were part of before, working for somebody else, and you'll be even better because you have more experience on your resume, and that world's going to accept you back. It's like that's the bottom. You can only go up from there. And if it doesn't work and you just are not feeling it, it's not your thing because it's not for everybody, just go back to that world. Like it's there. It'll be waiting for you and it will take you back, right? You're not going to lose your house. You're not going to go bankrupt. Okay. You're not going to be out on the street. That's not going to happen. Okay. So just know that and take that leap. It's a leap of faith. Jump out and do your thing. You're not going to know. That's what faith is. You don't see everything, but you believe in something and you move forward, right? And so have faith that you can do it. And so that's my quick sort of 5 steps, right? Be self-aware, have a plan, but do it ethically. Understand that karma is there. It's real, right? Number 3, plan financially as well, but not too much. Don't let the financial piece hang you up. Maybe it has been to now, but don't let it hang you up. Number 4, have the courage to have that tough conversation. Know that, like I've experienced, it can go both ways. It can be a train wreck, like I've experienced, with repercussions that last for years, apparently, and it can also be a positive experience, like I experienced at the last place I left, where both the firm and the individual know that it's time to move on and time to let people grow. And then number 5, just go for it. Jump in and do it. Thanks for watching this video. My hope is to just put videos out there. I was trying to decide what to do, how I could share this knowledge, sort of my experience with the world, share my story. And I think that this is the best way to do it. And the hope is that it will help you. It will inspire you to do things and point you in the right direction. Can't promise that I'm always going to have videos every single week because I'm actually running a business and I'm running a lot of cases. I've got a lot of people. When your name's on the door, all your clients, whether you have associates and paralegals, they want to talk to you. So there's a lot to do, obviously. But I've had this desire for the longest time to be able to put some of this stuff out there to the world and see if it can help somebody, hopefully. So thanks for watching. Consider subscribing if this helped you, inspired you in some way, and we'll see you in the next video.